For the 50th and the 51st episode, I want to make this a two-part series where I'll recap some of the most important problems facing the nail salon industry. Many of these issues I've discussed in previous episodes. And before I start, I want to be really clear about my intentions for these two episodes. My goal is not to criticize the nail industry. I love this industry, and I only want to help. Instead, I'm shining a light on the many issues that prevent the nail industry from growing and improving, and I'm offering suggestions to move the industry in the right direction. If these issues are successfully addressed, then all nail technicians, salons, clients, and manufacturers will benefit. As the old saying goes, a rising tide raises all ships. These issues affect everyone, not just nail professionals. I believe the nail industry is at an important crossroads. If the concerns raised in this video are not effectively addressed, this could eventually result in the end of the nail industry as we know it. So this is serious stuff, and these are extremely important issues that can no longer be ignored or excused. I've worked as a scientist in the nail industry for more than 25 years, and I know many of these are very old problems that just continue to fester. However, some are new issues brought on by long-standing problems that have not been resolved, and also because of recent changes in the nail industry. Of course, the industry is growing in terms of sales dollars, but that's not what I'm talking about. There has been an improvement in sales because the economy is finally improving, but that's to be expected, and it's not a sign that the nail industry is generally improving or gaining market share. In fact, I believe the opposite has occurred. In my view, the nail industry is at best stagnant, and it's been that way for several years. I know that some will disagree, but before you make up your mind, please allow me to explain why I feel this way. And I'd like to offer some suggestions that I believe can help to reverse these worrisome trends. Based on surveys I performed over the years, I would estimate that in the United States, only about 10 to 15% of women receive professional nail services on a regular basis. Now, if that's correct, this means that 85 to 90% of women do not regularly go to salons for services. I suspect this is true in many other countries as well. I hear the same reasons for not going to nail salons wherever I go, so these issues apparently are universal. Of course, some women feel they can't afford salon services and would love to go if they could afford it. I'm not talking about them. My research leads me to believe that most women who could afford to go to receive salon services but don't go, they won't go because they're afraid of nail salons. Which is really to say, they're afraid of the services that most nail technicians provide. Even those who receive regular nail services may trust their nail technician, but many are quick to say they're afraid of other salons. What's this all about? Why are so many afraid of nail salons? Now, some will point to the unfair news or other media stories that frighten clients. Well, I agree. These stories definitely frighten clients, and they unfairly harm salon business. Especially the silly, tired old stories that erroneously suggest that UV nail lamps are harmful, when in fact they have been proven safe by many world-leading experts who study UV's effect on the skin. Many of the news stories are simply feeding the pre-existing concerns and worries which many women share about nail salons. So again, why is this happening? Manicures and the many innovative new nail coatings and treatments that are available, they provide wonderful services and benefits to clients. Pedicures are an awesome way to keep feet healthy, and they're amazingly relaxing and enjoyable. Of course, this is only true if these services are properly and safely performed by skilled and knowledgeable nail professionals. But now we come to what I believe is the root of the problem. When a client walks into a salon for the first time, they cannot expect that the services will be properly performed or safely performed, since all too often, neither of these occur. Why? Of course, there are many reasons, not just a few. The media has focused much of its attentions on issues related to skin and nail infections, so let's begin there. This issue became mainstream news in 2002 when one California salon infected over 100 clients with serious leg infections that in some cases caused permanent scarring of the legs. The infections were a clear case of negligence of the salon owner, who admitted that in 2 years since the salon opened, he never properly cleaned or disinfected the pedicure basins, not even once. For more than 25 years, I've served as an expert witness in legal cases related to all types of salons, nails, hair, and skin. In my experience, improper cleaning and disinfection, as well as improper sterilization, are the main issues in the majority of these lawsuits. I find that a surprising number of nail technicians don't understand the difference between sanitizing and disinfection. They'll often use a sanitizer, mistakenly believing it's a disinfectant, which can lead to some huge problems. Sanitizers only clean. They cannot disinfect anything. This creates many problems. For instance, water sanitizers that are designed to be added to the pedicure water while a client's feet are soaking have absolutely no ability to disinfect the foot spa. Yet some salons believe they do, and I've seen this misunderstanding lead to some serious client infections. Many salons don't properly use disinfectants and will often just make up their own cleaning and disinfection procedures based on what's convenient for them. Or they try to save expenses by shortcutting these procedures, or not changing the disinfectants daily, or over-diluting them too much. Many times these made-up procedures are in violation of local and federal regulations, and many of them are probably not effective. Improper cleaning and disinfection just provides a false sense of security, and it does not adequately protect clients. For instance, a quick spritz of alcohol on an implement or a tabletop does nothing at all, and it's not better than nothing. Ineffective techniques like this only lull a nail technician into complacency by making them feel that they're doing something to protect their clients, when actually they're just wasting alcohol and putting clients at unnecessary risk. If cleaning and disinfection are properly performed, these procedures are extraordinarily effective, and clients would be protected and salon-related infections would become very rare. Problems arise when these procedures are not properly performed. For instance, some salons use so-called UV sterilizers, which do not properly sterilize salon implements, and in my view, are just a waste of money. These devices can create a greater risk for clients because they're often misused or used in inappropriate ways. Some salons have switched to autoclaves for sterilizing small tools and implements, but most don't properly maintain these devices and never perform the monthly spore testing that's required to ensure the autoclave is actually working properly. Hospitals do these tests weekly because they know that autoclaves can appear to be working but are not properly sterilizing, which is why they must be checked regularly with a spore test. I've discussed proper use of disinfectant and autoclaves in several past episodes of Face to Face with Doug Schoon. All nail professionals should watch these episodes to ensure they're doing what they actually need to be doing to adequately protect their clients. Now, you can use the keyword search feature on my face-to-face website to find topics you're interested in learning about, including disinfection. Nail and skin infections occur way too often as a result of salon services, and this is a main reason why so many doctors warn their patients to avoid going to nail salons. This information should be the first thing nail professionals are taught, and it should be a main emphasis throughout their training. But too often, cleaning and disinfection is not made enough of the focus. This brings up another issue: nail technician training. There's an interesting new problem facing the nail industry, and it's called nail art. What? How can nail art be a problem? Well, don't misunderstand. I love nail art, and I'm amazed by the talent of many of the really wonderfully creative nail artists. So what's the problem? Many new nail technicians are being drawn into the field because they want to artistically express themselves through nail art. Nothing wrong with that, if properly channeled. However, this trend has a dark side that must be addressed. Too many are overly focused on nail art, and they lack even a basic understanding of the natural nail or how the products work or how to use them safely. Several nail instructors have told me that their students now only want to learn how to do nail art. They don't care about learning anything else. Also, many nail artists have resorted to using non-cosmetic glitters and other potentially unsafe colorants, not designed or intended for cosmetic use. Now, when the nails are filed, the nail technician is exposed to the dust of these non-cosmetic colorants, and this can lead to some adverse skin reactions and other health risk, as I explained in episode 25. Nail technicians must learn much more than how to do nail art. Yet many are overly focused on nail art and don't have any other skills or knowledge that they need in order to work safely. That's why I say the industry has way too many nail artists and not enough nail technicians. What many nail newbies and veterans alike fail to realize is that just because you can bling out a nail, it doesn't mean you know jack. In other words, being good at nail art doesn't mean you're a good nail technician. Not at all. Just like being good at decorating a cake doesn't make you a good baker. Don't fool yourself. Nail art is just the icing on the cake. It's not the cake. It's my belief that the biggest issue in the nail industry is that very large numbers of nail technicians do not have enough information or knowledge to safely or correctly perform their services. Of course, there are many highly knowledgeable nail professionals in every country, but on a worldwide basis, nail education is greatly lacking, and the level of knowledge is well below what it should be in order to safely and correctly use nail products. No country is exempt from this issue. And that includes the United States and other countries that even require nail professionals to be trained and licensed. Much of what some consider to be nail education is better described as a confusing collection of misinformation, myths, truths, half-truths, and deceptions. Most nail technicians know very little about the natural nail, which alone should be a concern. Many confuse the nail plate with a nail bed, and in my experience, most nail technicians can't name the parts of the nail, nor do they understand the basic structure or function of each of the parts of the nail, nor do they understand how these parts all work together to create a healthy nail. Would you take your car to a mechanic who didn't know the difference between the transmission and an engine? Probably not. To me, having a deep understanding of the nail is basic and fundamental to being a nail professional. Yet many only focus on application skills. But they use improper removal or other damaging techniques, not even realizing how they can prevent this nail damage. Instead, too many in the nail industry just accept nail damage as something normal and unavoidable. When the surface damage becomes too noticeable to ignore, they'll tell their clients they have dry nails, so they need to use nail oil. When the facts are, nail oil only lessen the appearance of many of these types of surface nail damage. It does not repair the damage. Other than using scraping or other forceful removal methods, one of the most damaging techniques that nail professionals use is to overfile the natural nail. Many don't understand the consequences related to overfiling. Nail technicians that don't understand these basic points are far more likely to damage the nail than they are to protect or nurture it. And each time that happens, a client's nails are needlessly damaged or made overly thin. That's just another black eye for the entire nail industry. Many nail technicians confuse education to mean application skills. Application skills are important, but they're only a small part of what nail technicians need to know. Most nail technicians focus their times on developing these application skills to become quite adept at using the products. Then they make a critical error. They begin to think they don't need to know any more. They already know enough. Many will intentionally shun any opportunity for advancing their education. They don't take classes, don't read trade magazines, maybe to look at the pictures. They know enough already, or so they think. Well, here's what I think about that. I have the honor of knowing many of the finest nail technicians in the world, and I would say that there are very few who can truthfully claim that they know enough about the natural nail and nail products. And they would probably never claim to know it all anyway, because they have a thirst for more knowledge. Now wait a minute. Do you think that's how they got to where they are? By realizing they don't know it all, and likely never will, but not letting them stop them from trying to learn more. But many nail technicians are uncomfortable with learning anything that might challenge what they were taught. Instead, they would rather ignore the facts. Some rely on the internet for information, but this has actually become a convenient way to share misinformation on a grand scale. Now misinformation flows like water. It's everywhere, making it much harder to distinguish between the facts and the myths.